Hello, rewatch crew. It's possible it may be a while before someone comes in. Hi, Vanna. Hey, Ratnus. Um, do I remember you? I'm not actually sure if I do remember you, Ratnus. It's been a long time, I think. Hi, Vanna. Now that you're past the ads, hello. Hey, Val. You remember me a bit? Yeah, not. I don't. I don't think you were around very often. Like, I don't. I don't remember you chatting very often. I think it's been a long time since you were here, and when you were here, it was very rarely. Hi, Layla. You remember? Well, that's because your memory's good. I've got a memory like a sieve. Also, uh, I don't remember exactly when I learned that it was pronounced sieve, but I was well into adulthood by the time that I learned that it was pronounced that way. I think I'd assumed it was sieve because it's spelled Sieve. How is that sieve? Sieve. It's like a thing that you sieve like five. Yes, I'm pretty sure it's pronounced sieve. Yep, sieve.
Sieve.
For some goddamn reason, it's pronounced sieve. For draining pasta, yeah. Yeah, like a strainer. A strainer is what people is what would be more commonly called. What I just said. What did I just say when? A bad joke, like I already. Okay. In Australia, we call sieve. Those here people call it strainer or colander. Colander is a little bit different. Colanders, I think, have sort of like slightly larger holes. Colanders and sieves are a little bit different. Like a sieve is just like a mesh. Colander is sort of like it's sort of all metal, but with some holes in it. Going to the back of the room and putting my head on my desk. So yeah, a sieve, it's just like a wire, like it's just like a mesh strainer. Hey, Waffles. Got to go and collect uranium 375. Good times, good times. I'm pretty sure that's how you get superpowers. Or cancer. Radiating positivity. Radiating something. Anywho's. Trophy Eyes, Buffalo, New York. I have no idea what Trophy Eyes means. Not much happening. Kangaroo emoji was a slanted camel. Slanted camel, that's funny. Slanted Camel is my new band name. Frank Horgan. I don't think I will Google that, rat mouse. When someone says says something and then says Google it, it's usually something dirty. And Frank Horgan does sound like some sort of nasty sex thing. Everyone's been eating punk and stage diving. Stage diving's fun. Stage diving is cool. I mean, yeah, kind of risky, but I guess people can surf back if they made it to the front, but that seems dumb. Lead of Trophy Eyes dove and broke a fence. Ooh. Oh, that's bad. I mean, I guess that's one of those things like I mean, that sounds like a freak accident. I mean, people stage dive all the time and nobody gets hurt, except occasionally the person trying to do the stage dive if something goes wrong. Um, well, thanks for stopping in, Waffles. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like one of those things, like, he probably does it all the time. Yeah, like, he probably does it regularly, and, like, is just a one-time absolute freak accident. So it's sometimes shit does happen. And, like, there's just no way around that. Besides just kicking and being grubbed, yeah, you can land wrong and really hurt people. I mean, you can. It's possible. But I think most times stage diving goes well enough. What's going on with Drake and Kendrick? As far as I'm aware, what's going on is everybody hates Drake, including the people in his immediate circle. The security guard got shot in Toronto today because everybody hates Drake. Drake is Canadian. Yeah, yeah, Drake's Canadian. We're not proud of that, but he is Canadian. Hey, Zena. Who is he fighting with? Kendrick. I don't know. Like, I don't know how the beef started. I think Drake made some comment about Kendrick being small. I mean, it's rap. They beef. People beef just because hey, it's fun to beef. Yeah. So Kendrick called Drake out, and then Drake's response was to call Kendrick short, and Kendrick's response to that was to just absolutely fucking nuke him. Like, basically, just like Drake, like, you short bitch, and Kendrick, like, yeah, you're a pedophile. Everybody hates you, and I want you to die. Like, it was just absolutely, like, just absolutely vicious, brutal destruction of him. One line that's one line that has gotten a lot of attention. You're not a colleague, you're a colonizer. That line is one that I've seen people talk about quite a bit as being just a genius line. Is it real or marketing? I mean, I'm gonna get real. Considering Kendrick straight has accused Drake of being a deadbeat father and a child molester, and that Drake's response to being accused of pedophilia was to accuse Kendrick of having been molested as a child, which Kendrick has repeatedly said is not the case. He's like repeatedly said that he's like the only person in his family who was not sexually molested. Like, it is some fucked up shit. I don't listen to rap, so like I'm not listening to any of these songs. Um, But like, there's a few people I follow on Twitter and on Blue Skies who are just absolutely loving this and like just having an absolute blast seeing Drake get repeatedly murdered by these people have issued. I mean, but yeah, from what I can gather, it has been a very one-sided battle. Drake bringing in all sorts of guest writers. Drake will have like 8 people helping him write a song, and then Kendrick will come back like, and that like 10 minutes after Drake releases a song with 8 guest writers, Kendrick will shoot back just with something 1,000 times more vicious. And then a few hours later, follow that up with, and while I'm on the subject. Hey, right, mouse. Drake and Kendrick sound like Yabba and Pistachio. Yeah, like I said, you're not a colleague, you're a colonizer is a phenomenal line. That, I mean, it's one of those lines there's no real coming back from. Like that is a line that wins battles. Because like Drake tries to boast about like, oh hey, I amplify all sorts of other black artists. I help to promote other black artists, and Kendrick's just basically saying, you're not actually a part of this community. You're using it for your own benefit. Which, from what I understand, is accurate. Drake will take up and coming artists, sort of use them to boost himself and then abandon them. Drake at some point claimed he was taught through rappers with J. Cole and Kendrick was like, you're not even black. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was saying. Not a colleague. Yeah, apparently the accusations of being a child molester, Drake's response to that, his defense basically came down to, I'm too famous to be a child molester, and if the allegations were true, like if that was true, why haven't I been charged with it yet? And like those are probably the two absolute weakest defenses you could ever possibly manage. I'm too rich and famous to diddle children. Yes, because being rich and famous, yeah, it's Kendrick, I think, is American. But yeah, that definitely doesn't create the opportunities to be able to do that sort of thing. Drake being a bad absent dad. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Good night, Zena. It's just like that. Like that's the defense you're going with, dude. So yeah. And also, for one of the tracks that Kendrick released. First of all, it sampled a song that Drake's uncle had performed on, which damn. Also, it featured like a cover image of items from Drake's own home, like Drake's own things taken from Drake's home, which means that somebody in Drake's inner circle sent that photo to Kendrick. Like somebody in Drake's inner circle, somebody close to Drake who has access to his home is on Kendrick's side with this. Is supporting Kendrick in taking Drake out. Like that is. Then someone shot Drake's bodyguard. I guess so. Theorized fan involvement, not even their beef. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't read anything about that myself. At one point, Kendrick released Drake released his track, and then Kendrick released his track. And then, like, the next day, Kendrick released another track. It was, I think people were basically saying that Kendrick Columboed Drake. Oh, one last thing. One more thing. Did we collectively hate Drake before? A lot of people did. Drake's a pretty Drake is definitely pretty divisive. Drake does have a lot of haters. Drake is cheesy. He is. Drake has been in hot water for his relationship with Millie Brown. Yeah, I don't really follow rap myself, so I don't really know for sure. The impression cops at a live news conference on Drake's Heart today. Wouldn't look twice at a high schooler actively kissing on and trying to coax Millie. Yeah, I feel like the impression I'm getting from just like what I'm reading right now, the impression I'm getting is that Drake is probably more popular with white people than with black people. You know, like I feel like a lot of black people, from what I'm guessing, seem like they take issue with Drake. Drake is the old man who's waiting for Millie to turn 18. Yeah, that's gross. That is so gross. Like, oh, I can't wait for her to turn 18. Like anyone who says that, like anyone who has that attitude, should not be anywhere near anyone under that. Should not be anywhere near anyone under 30. Like, if you're waiting for someone to turn 18, you're too old for that person. Hey, hamburger eyes. Looks like me. I don't know. Metro Boomin also tweeted questionable stuff. If she can take it, she's old enough. Yeah. Yeah, that old settled line. If there's grass on the field, play ball. Ugh. Don't know who Millie is, but that makes sense. Yeah, I've got no idea. Is it Millie Bobby Brown? Like, I feel like I've heard the name Millie Bobby Brown, and that is all. I've heard the name and literally nothing. I know literally nothing. So yeah, I am enjoying reading people's reactions to the beef. I'm enjoying people's reactions to the beef because people are having fun. Let's see if there's any news about Drake's bodyguard. Yeah. Doesn't seem like there's any particular news about it. I ran was Whitney Houston's daughter. Why do autistic people look alike? I don't know that we do. They've been rapping about Whitney. Huh. Just having a look, and apparently well, it's police investigation for it if you aren't fixing it. So apparently Nintendo just randomly announced that they're going to have an announcement about their new console later this year. Just random fucking announcement. Just random fucking announcement. Oh, by the way, we're gonna have an announcement about the next console later this year. Don't worry about it until then. I will say, good timing on it considering Microsoft is in a lot of shit right now. Hottest partner I've been with. I don't know that I've ever had a hot partner. Truth be told, Chantel probably was the most attractive woman I've been with. Anyway, yeah. So Microsoft has been getting a lot of criticism for shutting down four studios, four game developing studios. Your mom? I mean, nah, nah. Hamburger's mom is very mid at best. Yeah, they shut down four game developing studios, including the one who made Hi-Fi Rush, the developers of Hi-Fi Rush, which was a really critically acclaimed and popular game. So Microsoft just laid off a bunch of developers for shitty reasons. It's because that's just what major corporations do is they lay people off. So like, people getting really pissed off at Microsoft, and then Nintendo just coming in like, oh, just so you know, just so you know, we're working on something. Applied for a Microsoft job last week. Well, good luck. As a major corporation, don't expect to keep it long. Health science thing. Well, good luck with it. Never get to like to work with. Yeah. Yeah. And it's so stupid because, like, the decisions are made by the people at the top, right? Ultimately, the CEO is ultimately responsible for everything that happens in the company. And, the board of directors is responsible. They're the ones who are ultimately responsible for everything that goes down in the company. Those are also the people who never, ever have to suffer a single goddamn consequence of their actions. Well, occupational therapy is for people who don't like their jobs. It's what I do for a while. Yeah. Like, rather than the people at the top taking a pay cut so that the regular workers can be kept on, no, lay off a couple thousand people. Lay off a bunch of people. The board of directors get paid. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, it stocks. Thanks, Hamburger. Missed you too. Can I game? Not well. I don't game well. But I'm playing Final Fantasy. I've been playing the Final Fantasy games. I have started recording Final Fantasy 3. Mario Kart? Nah. I don't even have a Nintendo Online account anymore. My subscription would have expired a while ago. But yeah, and it's one of those things, like, say what you want about Nintendo. When they hit a patch where they're seeing like a real slump, when they like just hit like a really bad patch and sales were down and everything, the president took a pay cut in order to retain the staff, in order to retain more staff, like in order to retain staff. Like, whatever else you want to say about Nintendo, they made an effort. They made sure that people would keep their jobs while Nintendo realigned. Sony, Microsoft, EA, Activision. Hey, hello, Craig. None of the Western developers would do that. None of the Western companies would do that. Like, I don't think there's a single uh, publisher. Like, I don't think there's a single publisher in North America who would do that. Who would have the president take a pay cut in order to retain workers. Most of them, most publishers. Oh, your game was released and your game was released and it was a huge hit and people love it and we're making lots of money. Okay, you're all fired. Like, game developers will just get their studio closed down and everyone fired after making a successful game at this point. Hades 2? I mean, I never even played Hades 1. Hades 2, like, I'll watch a Let's Play of Hades 2. I watched a Let's Play of Hades 1. I'll watch a Let's Play of Hades 2. Probably go with Wellens again. Because, I don't know, she's... I'm missing. I do know what I'm missing. It's not my kind of game. Like, I played Boyfriend Dungeon, which is a similar game style. But I think, like, way, way easier than Hades. Boyfriend Dungeon. That was a fun, cute game. And like I said, I think that one was a lot easier than Hades. Dave the Diver was nominated as best indie game. There's controversy because they partnered with Nexon and they're not indie. Yeah. Hades won as a certified hood classic. Yeah, it is a very popular game for sure. You know, because it combined good gameplay, a compelling story, and really hot character designs. Like super hot character designs. Great story. Well, yeah, I said compelling story. I said great gameplay, compelling story, and stupidly hot character designs. People got real thirsty for every goddamn character in that game. I'm pretty sure even the floating disembodied Medusa head had had its share of people who were going wood. You can charm her also. Yep. Very open-minded. Yep. Hey, Rara. Set from 7 to 1 a.m. and I'm still tired. Always. Any action games that I would play on stream? I don't know. Sub to a ton of channels I didn't sub to. Weird. Yeah, I guess that's about 6 hours, Vanna. Hey, no name brand. Where are the new emojis? You need a membership. You need to be a slice. Six hours sufficient. Yeah, I mean 7 is ideal. 7 to 8 hours is sort of the ideal. Anyway, action games that I can play on stream. I don't think so. I'm looking through my I'm looking through the games in my library, and none of them are action-oriented games. How about my wish list? Starbucks now sells boba. And I mean, I've got Terror of Hemosaurus on my playlist. That one's like a rampage type of game where you play a monster destroying a city. I don't know if that one counts. Started playing Pal World for the cute avatars. Yeah, not really my kind of game. You played that with Beer Boy? What, Rampage? Yeah, I used to play Rampage back in the day. I like Rampage. That game's fun. Or do you mean Terror of Hemosaurus? What happened to my purple t-shirt? It's dirty. Terror of Hemosaurus. It's dirty, so it's like waiting to be washed. Brand BMAC. Probably also dirty, I'd imagine. So yeah, the answer to are there any um, action games I can play on stream? The answer is basically no. What happened to no beard? I still have a beard. I still have a beard. Weirdly, I think the closest there's a game on my wish list called fuck Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris is an asshole. Yeah, there's a game on my wish list called We Are OFK. And the idea behind that one, it's a story game, but the idea is like you play a band, or you play a member of a band, and there are interactive music videos. That's on Piers Morgan. Also an asshole, and always has been. Hey, Kelly. Like, my first exposure to Piers Morgan was when he was one of the judges on America's Got Talent. And so I knew nothing about him outside of that context. And I still thought he was an asshole. Would I fight Chuck Norris? I mean, no. But I'd call him a dickweed. Doja Cat? I don't know anything about Doja Cat, but she seems like she might be an asshole. Matt Walsh. Yeah, fuck Matt Walsh. He's an asshole. Creator of What Is a Woman did an interview with school students protesting furries. Madonna. Yeah. She's a bit old for me. Furry protesters were Utah Mormons. Yeah, taking a handful of like the whole like it's not like furries are harming anyone. The one thing I will say about furries is as a community, they do continue to struggle with keeping out Nazis, neo-Nazis. There is a weird, like, it's just like a really weird issue with the furry community. I don't have Reddit. Just like one of the weirder, like, of all the communities to have a serious problem with too many neo-Nazis. People who dress like animals is just odd. But yeah, that is. I am not currently on dating apps. Children who wear furry accessories and actual furries are different. Well, yes. Cat ear headbands are a gateway. Slippery slope. Think there's scan? Yeah. Kinda. Hard to believe people actually create relationships. It's hard. It's even on dating apps. It's hard to meet people, especially depending on where you live. Living in Cornwall, dating apps are very limited utility for me. Even if I was interested in looking for something. Yeah, people freaking out about kids are. Ottawa's much better. Yeah, Ottawa was a bit light, but Cornwall just sucks for dating. Yeah, people freaking out about kids identifying as animals. Like, not really. It's a lot of it is misunderstanding things. combined with willful misrepresentations and outright lies. Like, no, kids are not demanding litter boxes. That's not a thing. The students think the tails are butt plugs. Why did I take the job back? I mean, I took a job in 2019 to get closer to my friend, actually. Like I got laid off from my job in 2019, so I had to find another job, and I decided on one in Ottawa. Or 2018, I think, that I got laid off. So I took a job in Ottawa just because, yeah, at least I'll be able to. At least I'll live near my bestie. Joking, you know, or at least that that it was made up. Like not necessarily that he made it up himself, but that it was false. Because I mean, it was like it is just young kids receiving hormone therapy at less than 5,000. Yeah, and how many of those kids are receiving those therapies like unrelated to any sort of gender issues? Because I mean, like puberty blockers are still regularly they're still routinely prescribed to delay precocious puberty, or you know, plenty of kids are put on testosterone or estrogen for because their bodies just aren't producing enough of it. Like it's like even the numbers that we have, not all of them are trans kids. You know? Yeah, those are the two theories I've heard. Litter for throwing on vomit, because I mean that's a thing. And the other version I heard is that some classrooms had litter sort of in the closet for active shooter situations. That was like the explanation I heard, was that there was like a classroom that had litter, had a litter, like had some box of litter in the closet in the event of an active shooter situation. Kids couldn't exactly, kids wouldn't exactly be able to leave to go to the washroom. That bathroom passes are not effective at stopping bullets. I mean, if it's on like one of those big wooden things, that like that big wooden thing could probably stop it. Could probably stop a bullet, but yeah, one of those things is just like a glimpse into the horrors of life in the United States. Also, before I go, one other thing related to the active shooter drills. Um, when university students were barricading themselves inside campus buildings, one thing that the police were saying was like, "Oh, it's outside actually. I mean, they're coming in and like, you think these kids know how to barricade doors off like this effectively? Kids aren't trained for barricading doors." It's like, yes, they are. They are regularly trained in how to barricade doors in schools. Because the US is a fucking terrifying country. Anyway, I'm gonna get going. I will be back tomorrow. So hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow. But for now, good night, everybody.